We got to stop chasing the men with the money and the men who look good. I'm all about finding a man that's a provider man, which I am so thankful I found, but it didn't start out like that. It wasn't always like that. Sometimes you have to find a man that has the potential, that has the good morals and the good heart, and who has the typical nice guy, maybe the guy who's a nice guy and you don't really want because he's too nice. That's the guy that you want to date. I feel like everybody is so hooked on just being chased around, and you want to chase somebody so bad because it makes you want them more. But chasing somebody isn't true love. It's not love. It's just lust. And you want to get that person until you finally have them, and then you don't want them anymore. I'm telling you that the man with the potential is the man that's going to treat you good. He's going to treat you like a queen that you are, and he's going to become the provider man. Because if you see potential in him and you are standing by his side through thick and thin, you are standing by his side when he has nothing and he's working to get where he needs to be, he's going to be so grateful for you, and he's going to treat you like a queen when he finally gets to where he needs to, because you stood by his side. Because a true man cannot become the man that he wants to without the right woman by his side. You gave them the love when they needed it most, and now that they are where they are at and you worked with them to be where they need to be, no relationship is perfect. This is why I say potential is so important. To see potential in somebody is so important, because it's loving them when they have nothing.
A woman said, "You can never make me give a man wife benefits on a girlfriend's salary." Exactly. And you wonder why a man's not going to pay for the date. You wonder why you struggling to have a man pay for flowers. Y'all keep on talking about energy, and then y'all don't give none. Oh, he's not giving good energy. He's not giving good vibes. Neither are you. You're a trash person out here.
Y'all already just fumbled one of the most sweetest men that I have ever met. When y'all come into these dating relationships, y'all really gotta have y'all together. Especially when you got a good person by your side, a person that's willing to deal with your boo. And when I say a person that's willing to deal with your boo, some of y'all gotta understand the difference between consistently causing drama and chaos in somebody's life and just the day-to-day BS that you got going on. So we have finally got to a space in our relationship where things was really going smooth. And because I had so much going on in my life and I did not know how to regulate my emotions, I ended up losing a good man. Not only that, my attitude, my mood swings was off the roof. And yes, y'all gonna say like, oh, well, that's what comes with being a girl. No, you need to learn how to control that. Because everybody is not gonna want to deal with your attitudes and your mood swings all the time. Y'all, it really took me to be selfless and to understand that if I did not give our relationship a break, I would literally have been his downfall. If we stay together, I may be the reason why we break up and probably never talk again. And I could really sit here and take accountability for the simple fact that I was really the problem. And now that I know that, I'm going to work on myself, because I know that I want this man and I'm going to get what I want. But I know that he deserves a better side of me. He deserves a healed, calm side of me. Ladies, it's okay to admit that you were the one that fumbled a good man.
Honestly, I gotta appreciate the accountability and the self-awareness. I don't really think there's much else that needs to be said, because you took accountability and responsibility for your mistakes. That's all a lot of men are looking for.
Too many people are lying, okay? A woman can like you and still ignore you, and still block you, and still not initiate things, and still not approach you. You guys need to understand, there are damaged and broken people over the internet saying stereotypes. Every single female in this whole entire world, if they ignore you, that means they don't like you. What? And I'm saying this as a female myself. We are emotional. We make decisions based on emotion. So if I ignore you, it doesn't mean I don't like you. If I don't text you for a day or 3 days, it doesn't mean I'm talking to other guys. Stop these negative assumptions. You know what? If I'm talking to a guy and he thinks because I do one thing that he doesn't like and he thinks I'm talking to another guy, yeah, I'm probably going to talk to another guy, because that level of insecurity is something that I do not have the emotional capacity to deal with. You are literally creating your own reality. If you're gonna accuse me of things that I'm not doing, why should I not do something? If you're being so negative towards something, why don't I get something out of it? I'm just gonna go find a better guy. So stop this. A woman will be kind to you when you're kind to her, when you're kind to herself. The only reason why people leave your life, the only reason why women leave your life is because you are insecure. Only reason. The only reason. Only. I swear to God. Stop. just because I ignore you, or just because I'm not in your life, or just because I haven't texted you in a little while, doesn't mean I'm talking to other guys. That's insulting. What I am doing is I'm taking care of myself. I'm making sure my energy is right. If I'm going through a lot, I'm not going to talk to you. I don't want to bring negative energy towards you. I want to be a man's peace, and I cannot do that if I'm always talking to him when I have all this negative stuff going on. I'm not going to be able to build a connection and chemistry with you when I've got shit to do in my own life. So stop that. Stop trying to ruin it for us women who are actually trying to like have a healthy relationship with men, and then y'all are constantly like brainwashing them and stimulating them into believing that they're somehow not worthy for love in her eyes just because she has her own flaws. Yeah, like I admit it. It's my own, like someone tried using it against me, but I admit it. I ignore a man when I'm going through a lot. I guess that's a flaw. But I'd rather talk to him when I'm happy rather than involving him in my shit. I guess that's a flaw, but I'm not talking to other guys. Why would I? I like you. I like you. Subscribe, like, leave a comment. If you would like one-on-one coaching, it'll be in my bio.
Jenna, all of this sounds great. This sounds great. But guess what they gotta do? Guess what they have to do now more than ever, probably. Now more than ever. Communicate. Communicate what you're going through, you talk about being broken. Y'all want men to be open, vulnerable, communicative, and y'all don't be doing that. This is the exact same argument that men be making. Men don't be open like they say they want men to be open. Men a lot of times have to run out on that ledge. They be out there on that cliff by themselves, hanging on. Women have yet to come save them. Not worth it.
Men are in love with men. They're only physically attracted to women. That's it. But they're in love with men.
That's true.
Mentally, they're in love with men.
As soon as they both cross and as somebody calls,
the whole demeanor changes. They're in love with men. Yeah, they're only physically attracted to us, but they love men.
Oh my God.
Girl math, y'all. Girl math. The most dumbest math
That's
in
not girl
America.
math. That's real
girl
shit
math.
though.
And bro has to sit there in the middle of them speaking about foolishness. Just complete and utter foolishness. And the worst part about it is that she has a glass in her hand. She's drinking. She's sipping on something. Maybe it's water. I don't know. But what I'm saying is, instead of putting the glass down and explaining herself that lets you know that she has some critical thought, she's actually just rambling right now. That glass says, I'm sipping, I'm feeling good, I'm having a little bit, and I'm just stream of consciousness. Foolishness. Stream of foolishness is what it is.
I told this nigga to pay for my hair. He said, let me go through your phone. I got it. Never mind.
Yes, sir. That's the correct response. Yes, sir. Ask them for money, they'll leave. Oh, you want my money? Let me make sure the area. Let me make sure the perimeter is secure.
When a man judges a woman based on her past or her body count, I totally get it, and same. Because when a man gets with a woman who nobody respects and has a reputation of being completely ran through and who every man has had and none of them wanted, you all lose value and become disgusting to us as well.
Fair is fair. If you look at that man that way, I don't have no problem with it. I think most men would be like, okay, bet if that's what I have to do, then I'm gonna step back and I'm gonna adjust. At least there's no double standard. At least I have some sort of measuring stick to go off of, to where I know if I say something, it's going to be respected. And if you say something, I can respect it. Fantastic.
Guys, how do you girly pops that are like shy like me go about like putting yourselves out there to find like a man, or like, you know, just to be out there? Because me, I'm 25 and I've been single like literally my whole life. And I just, like, all I do is go to work. But, like, these workmen are, like, obviously not it. And that's it. That's all I do. And then I come home. And then I do nails. But, like, I'm not doing no men's nails to be, like, you know? Like, what? I used to go to a gym, but I haven't. But other than that, like... And then if I go out, it's, like, to go eat with, like, my sister or something. And, like, my friends. You know? Like, what? I don't know. I'm just so shy. Like, I'm not gonna go out by myself. You know what I'm saying? And then, like, if I am out... Nobody comes up to me. Like, you know how, like, I don't know. I want, like, a cute little movie type love story of, like, where I just accidentally meet them on the street, but that's not happening anytime soon. So anyways, give me tips, guys. I'm getting old.
I don't think she's bad looking, so I don't think it would have anything to do with her attractiveness. I think it'd be more so your lifestyle and the places that you frequent, probably. Okay, so it looks like you're at a Cardinals game here. Great. Men love football, so that's a point of connection. Sports bar might be a thing for you. You get to know somebody there, going to brunch. Looks like you're on the beach. More of like a woman's activity, in my opinion. I mean, I know guys like the beach, but you guys are just kind of sitting by the pool. It doesn't look like, as from what I can see here, you out there showing your behind. So that's a good sign, but still not around a lot of men. Men might not approach because women said to leave them alone. Gym fit looks great. I mean, you're not showing everything that you have to offer. Fantastic. I mean, about the only thing I see that's kind of iffy is this, but I do know some guys that would be okay with this. I think for me, you're probably showing a little bit too much, but you know, I'm not gonna get down on you about that. I'm not gonna go too far about that. I think my point is, a lot of times women frequent places that men just don't go. Like you might go to like a wine and cheese sort of thing. And while men appreciate those things, that's probably not going to be a place that they frequent a whole lot. You do better finding a man at a football game like you were at. Maybe you bump into him, or maybe he sees you and you're with your friends. There's a way to be open. Although in that type of environment, that might be extremely difficult. It can happen at a sporting event. If you go there at a bar and you're just kind of sitting with your friends and you're watching the game, a man might approach you there. That's a place to be social, right? And you can from there vet them and see if they're a good match. If you have a dad, you can say, hey dad, I met him here, X, Y, and Z. He said this, this, and this, and maybe y'all hit it off. There's endless possibilities if you're actually looking and you're actually going places that men would be. A lot of you guys like to go on vacation by yourselves, make it real girly and all of this stuff, and you wonder why men aren't in sight. It's because they're doing things that men would do.
Boys talking to other boys about their problems with girls doesn't make sense to me, because I'm like, what do they know? Like, they don't know anything about the female perspective. So I just am like, ask a girl. Like, call your sister, ask a friend's girlfriend, or like your own girlfriend. Like, get a perspective from someone who actually understands how like other women think. Why men? Like, that's just an echo chamber. They're just going to be like egging you on, I guess, unless you are just looking for validation. But if you're actually looking to understand, like, anytime I have an issue with a guy, I hope and pray that he goes to a girl to talk about it, because I'm like, she can sit there and be like, well, yeah, like if I were her, this is how I might interpret it, or this is what I might be feeling. Like, the amount of times that my guy friends will come to me about a girl that they're dating, and I'm like, well, yeah, when you told me the story, this is the way my brain went. And they're like, oh, that's so interesting. I would never know that, because we have blind spots. Like, men have blind spots about the way women think, and vice versa. Like, I always ask my guy friends, like, what am I missing? Like, what am I not seeing from this situation? What are my blind spots here? But I'm like, no, ask a girl. Like, if you're having questions, concerns, problems with a woman, ask a woman. Why would you ask a man? It's just this echo chamber. It's not going to get you anywhere. Like, I love talking to like a guy friend or something, if a girl's mad at him or whatever the situation. I'm like, no, let me offer a perspective that you're probably not seeing, and you're probably not getting from your guy friends being like, oh, she's crazy, bro. Like, no. Or here's 10 reasons why she could be upset that you're not understanding. And not to say like right or wrong, but like, perspective is everything, and your guy friends can rarely give you a female perspective because they're not women. So ask a woman. Again, like, anytime I have beef or a fight or issues with a guy, I'm like, don't talk to your guy friends about it, because they're not going to get it. Go talk to a girl. And I mean, hopefully she has my back, but you know.
Dude in the comments says, I mean, after you're already in a relationship, then sure, I totally agree. But women are historically terrible at knowing what actually attracts them in the early stages, in my experience. I mean, I'm not going to sit up here and say that you shouldn't talk to them about some things and not good for some things. But a lot of times there are a lot of women out there that just go based off of feeling. Well, maybe you should do this and maybe you should do that. Again, I had a woman tell me after I was telling her, hey, I have this woman that I'm talking to. she lives in this area and it's going to cost me, I think at the time it was like probably $500, $600, $700 for the ticket round trip. And then me having to stay in a hotel and buy everything else, pay for the date and stuff like that. It was going to equal somewhere around $1,200, right? And then that was just to see if we matched, if we vibed. And I was like, there's got to be another way than this. What she had to say to me was, well, that's just the way dating goes. If, you can't do that, then just, I guess you can't date. Like, that's just how dating is. What? What? You don't have anything else? That's me talking to a woman and her saying this stuff. They don't be thinking about anything else but what they want and what they want done for them and what they want to do, how much effort they want to put out in the relationship. And the answer for a lot of them, a lot of times, is none. Very minimal effort, making the man have to carry the load. Men do not want to do it alone. Help.
My favorite thing is when women start talking about the rich and the money they experienced at one time and how he's superhuman. This man do everything. He tolerate everything. He like her just the way she is. He ain't never got no issues. He loves just spending money for no reason. He just go out of his way. He just this amazing individual. And he never comes up until she talking about the weight. He never is ever the person that we know about until she talking to and that ain't trying to do none of the shit the rich and money did. And I just always be wondering, what's the purpose about bragging about a man you ain't got to a man you trying to get to do the shit about the man who ain't trying to do it no more? Like, I don't understand that. Why would I be in a man's face who trying to court me or telling me what he not gonna do, talking about what the man who did it did, and I can't keep that man either? Why y'all always know a rich nigga with money, but you ain't never with the rich nigga with money? Why y'all always can spot a trick and tell us who gonna pay for this and who gonna take care of that and who gonna go and do this and why he doing it, and it's just so easy for you, but you not with that man?
And let me tell you something, gentlemen, it doesn't matter what income you're at. You can make $50,000. You can make $500,000 a year. You will still hear this one. The imaginary guy or the guy they've been with a couple of times that hit it and pushed their insides to their esophagus, gave them $450, and they're comparing that person to you. Believe me, I've heard this and I said, go get them. 6 months later, they spin the block inevitably. It's a lie.
I'll be asking the same question. There was another woman in another video that I did, obviously, where she was talking about, oh, a man paid my rent. A man bought me food and he paid for my nails. Where is he? Why are you guys not married yet? Where are these guys coming from? What's going on with them? Well, I'm getting in and out of relationships, and exactly. You're getting in and out of relationships. So that right there should tell you there's a problem that needs to be fixed.
I don't know what man needs to hear this, but guys do not care if we deal with another person. Guys do not care to be the side piece. Like, I will straight up post the man that I'm dating, and guys will swipe up and be like, what are you doing tonight, big head? I'm sorry. What?
You do know that this is not a flex, right? You're being used. He doesn't actually want you. He's using you for your body. Why would we be bragging about this? The man doesn't have to pay any bills. He doesn't have to put up with you. He doesn't have to spend late nights on the phone talking to you. There's no energy. He just comes over, claps, and gets out of Dodge. Sometimes he comes over to your place, claps, you feed him, and he gets out of Dodge. Minimal effort for maximum gain. Delete this video.
See, the problem is, y'all have spent so much time talking trash about men and talking about our performance and what we don't do right, that you done got comfortable in your hubris. You done got comfortable. But what you don't realize about men is we are benevolent as f. What you don't realize about men is we rarely say what we really think about you. And the reason why is because we're smart enough to know that if we told you what we really thought about you, the way you tell us, it would crush your world.
One guy in the comments said, it's time for a little world crushing, fellas. Another dude said, I'm done being nice and started being honest, but not to the point to where I'm an a-hole. I'm just tired of time and energy being wasted. Facts.
Life really isn't real because a man shot his shot by Venmoing me $50 on Venmo saying I'm 6 foot and I'm in some other shows that are like,
if he wanted to, he would.
If he wanted to, he would. That's how to get my attention.
He would treat you right.
No DM, no text, no nothing. No comment on my TikTok. He fully Venmoed me $50.
Smash.
Life is worth living again. I'm up.
We up.
I guess my question is, if you don't like the guy, are you going to give him a refund? And the answer is probably not.
Kissy? Right on the window. Yeah, hit him with the papa. Good. Pow, 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 pow. Mom, go, mom, go. Pow, 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 pow. Pow, 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 pow.
That little boy is too little to be sitting in the front seat. The boy in the back seat don't have a seatbelt on. You texting and driving, and you're allowing him to act like he doing a drive-by shooting. My son don't even know what that is. How does your son even know what that is? I'm telling y'all be raising the worst little ever, bro. Y'all be raising the problem children. This is what I'm saying. This is what I be saying. Them little niggas gonna grow up to be terrible. If nobody gets a hold of them, what the give me the gun, we doing a drive-by and moms is just watching? You know how fast I'd have been like, give me that goddamn, don't you play like that. I would have been on my son's ass. She would just be little. That's it, they just being little. They don't know. They need to be corrected. You just watching and recording and texting. Bro, oh my God. This is what I be saying, bro. Like, regular people, they don't need to send their kids to the same school as these kids, bro. If you listening to the wheels on the bus go round and round on the way to school, they doing drive-bys. I'm counting to 10 and 20 in Spanish and my daughter corrected me. That's what we be doing in the car. Them little doing drive-bys. Oh, Lord Jesus.
Dude in the comments says she's a single mother. I'd expect nothing more. Another guy says she's texting and driving with kids. Absolutely not. Another guy said CPS. CPS. Yes, she's over here.
When you flip on the TV or, whatever media you're using, you're not hearing about the women usually. It's about the men's game. So, that's so critical.
The women got paid out from a pool of $30 million from the Women's World Cup. The men would draw from a pool of $400 million, okay? $400 million, $30 million. Why is that? It's because the Men's World Cup generates $6 billion in revenue. The Women's World Cup generates $131 million in revenue. If you want to talk about pay disparity, the Women's World Cup players get paid out 20% of the total revenue. The men get paid out 7%. The problem is, for anybody desiring equal pay, and by the way, I think equal pay is a ridiculous concept in and of itself. If the women generate more revenue, they should get paid more than the men. Don't strive for getting the same, strive for getting what you're worth. And if you're worth more, then get more.
So let's talk about this Houston dating market in the men's. I now understand why the girls are inside and they can't even be bothered, not even a little bit. Because if you can't armor yourself with a piece of self-esteem, self-confidence, and self-worth, they will fillet you out here in these dating streets. There's an incident that took place over the weekend. My friend and an acquaintance, we decided to meet up for cocktails. It's a he. And so I just threw on something, but I should have known you never just throw on anything to go anywhere out here. It has to be an organized thought. You have to look like a little bit of something, right? But I thought I was cool, but I wasn't. So we all met up and having cocktails. Okay, make it nice, whatever, having conversation flowing, drinks flowing. Okay, good. So I'm working on personal development. And I'm just, looking for feedback from the opposite sex, how I can show up better, just to get some market data. And so I told him, hey, just, what was your first impression of me? He was like, like, I'm like, no, just tell me, like, we just met. It's not really going to have any real impact if it's negative. So he said some, like, good things. And he was like, well, only, one thing I may add is, your wig looked like a helmet. What? A helmet? Okay. Well, I asked for feedback, so I can't tell the man to give it to me how I could receive it. He don't even know me. So, okay, fine. So it's just data for me to receive, right? And so I did ask him for feedback. So I said, okay, cool. Could you elaborate? Well, it just looks like a helmet. Okay. Well, thank you, sir. So I'm just saying, if you're asking for feedback, you may want to be ready for it because you just don't know how they're going to just lay it on you, honey. I'm like, oh, thank goodness I came armored. Could you imagine? Helmet. And no, and it's not this wig, just in case you're dribbling over this video trying to figure out it was another piece. But going forward, I'll be more mindful of how I install my pieces. And I can't just go out and just throw something on, because that doesn't work out here. Just saying. Helmet.
Apparently the man told her that her wig looked like a helmet. Apparently the man told her her wig That's not funny. Why am I laughing? That's not a joke. Oh man. You got a lot of men in the comments agreeing with you. It's rough out there. I just like a helmet. That's crazy work.
Okay, here's an update. Me and Tinder are beefing right now because I'm Delulu and thought that meeting somebody on Tinder would be successful. Here's the rundown, okay? So you're telling me that I matched with this guy, right? Everything was great. We like matched each other's vibes. It was like up here, okay? Up here, bro. We're hanging out, we're trauma bonding, whatever. We're doing whatever, the new relationships do. So we hung out on the 4th of July. And it was good. We were just chilling, dude. Like, we were having a good time, whatever. And we ended up hanging out in my car because we were listening to music. We were chilling, we were talking, like, the vibes were top tier, okay? And then he gets this call. And it's like, where the f*** are you? And he was like, just hanging out. And she was like, you need to get your ass home now, stuff like that. And so, like, I was just, like, sitting there, I'm like, oh, what happened, And long story short, it was his mother. I was like, hey, like, if you had to be home at a certain time, you could have told me that. He heads home, whatever, and I texted him. I was like, hey, just let me know when you get home safe, stuff like that. And then July 5th rolls around. July 5th. This is when it all comes crashing down. It crashes and burns. Or he texted me that morning because he had worked for a couple hours, and he was like, hey, good morning, I hope you have a good day. I was like, no, yeah, you too. That was that. And so I didn't hear from him for like 4 hours. And he's like, hey, just sorry, just got some stuff going on, whatever. And I was like, oh, cool. You could have told me that 4 hours ago, but whatever. I'm not crazy. I'm like, that's fine, whatever. And then another 4 hours rolls around. And I was like, okay, brother. So how did it go from answering in 5 minutes or less to 3+ hours? Something's not adding up here. And so I was like, whatever. And I was like, hey, like, if I did something, you can tell. He was like, no, you didn't do anything. I was like, okay. That's it? Yesterday, July 6th, rolls around, okay? I didn't hear nothing, like hardly anything. I got like 3-word responses, and I was like, hey, like, if you don't want to talk, say that. And he's like, well, you don't seem very thrilled to talk to me. And I was like, hey, listen, I match people's energy. That's what I do. Like, if you're being short with me, I'm gonna be short with you. He's like, oh, yeah, no, same. Same what? I was like, okay, you know what, fish, I'm done. I'm on to the next. I was like,
Listen, like, I'm not gonna sit here and check my phone every 2 minutes to see if you've answered. Like, I'm not gonna pursue this any further, because, like, obviously something changed, and I'm not with it. I took a nap, I wake up, unopened, unadded. Oh, like, are you kidding me? Oh my god. I probably should just... No man gonna hurt my feelings, that's for sure. Anyway, yeah, that was the update. Y'all have a good day. I'm gonna fight somebody.
I mean, you guys talked, had a point of connection, and maybe he thought, maybe this is not for me, and moved on. He could have said, hey, you know, I'm not feeling this. I'm going to move on and do something else. That is fair. I do agree with that. But, you know, he decided to go his separate ways. I mean, it's Tinder. I always think of Tinder. I know they try to rebrand it, but I always think of Tinder as people trying to hook up. I see a guy here in the comments said that he met his wife on Tinder. I think I heard somebody else said they met their significant other on Tinder. So maybe I'm in the dark ages on that.